permission to take off my nose because of the heat. Gospel SPG, that one changed into Anglican Church. So they were not preaching their Bible, and Africans were down suffering. Happening the same time for me. So let's now move to the dungeons. As we go now, after 2 steps, those steps again, be in the middle. Stay in the middle. Come forward a bit. These are the dungeons. 1,000 men at the time and 300 women. So each had about 200 captives. 200 in that one, making times 5,000. 200 enslaved Africans, 200. There was no light. So these 3 tools were the source of light and air for those that were kept sleeping. They stayed 2 weeks, 3 months. Something became light. Now, you can see the bricks on the floor. That's the original one. Those days, we had no toilet facility for Africans. There was nothing Nigeria. So our ancestors were forced to go to toilet to urinate salvation. We were here for 3 months. These branches were constructed originally as the urine. When we urinate, to pass through into the sea. But it got to a time that some Africans started fighting British people. They wanted to free themselves. Those doing that, British then identified them and brought them to the other side, to this place. So they created the government and it's a government. So because we are gathered now, a strong group. So British were not coming to claim the solid waste. So the waste started piling. It started from one level to the other. It reached a time that the original bricks was completely covered with waste. Waste bricks on the height like about 8 inches in some shape. Therefore, those they moved the plate to do by the markets. Thank you. If you look on the wall here, you can see those white markings. Because they were not cleaning the dungeons, the waste then piled to the bottom of the lands to reach this height. The ground reach this level, reach the height like this. We have the markings all over. The bricks was buried. But 1974, University of Ghana Archaeological Department came to do excavation here before they found the original building materials. That was when I was 1974. So many people died. So that were not buried. They carried stone into their waist and they threw them into the sea. But they left a portion of that solid waste from our ancestors. That one is still there, so I'm going to show you. And for those there, let me move to the side of this place. Thank you. Look at this place. You can't see the bricks here. I can see the bricks around. This is the waste that we met from 1974. So if you were to come here before 1974, the great that passed by, one of them got his hand. Let's move on to the figure that the doctor said. This is the passage from the mill dungeon where the shrine is. I said, they blocked the tunnel to stop the trade. Now, originally, Africans were forced through the tunnel. So when they don't come out, when they're ready to go, they walk through the tunnel. The door of no return. Yeah, they go through this place. The door of no return.
The old house. Ooh, definitely.
So we have the end of the tunnel. It is the end. The one at the back. So originally this place was not blocked, it was open. So they'll come from where the shrine is. When they got here, at first, this place was the door of no return for the men. Initially the men were going this way. But due to the tidal waves, the sea was coming in. The British then blocked that side. And this one was created as a new entrance. So from instead of them going this way, they were passing. And this was blocked only when the British stopped. Of the strength. Instead of Kweku, they said Kwasme. This man, his father, worked with the British. Some of the Africans worked with the British. His father was one of those people. So because of that, the son, Philip, was taken to England. There were 3 boys at the time. There were Philip, Thomas, and William. When they got to England, the 2 died. But this man survived. British trained him as a school teacher and a pastor. He was the first African to be ordained as a priest in Anglican ministry. He came back to the country, then Gold Coast, as a pastor and a teacher preaching in Anglican church. At that same time, blacks were down south from mine as captives. He taught some Euro-African children because Europeans had children with some of the African women and they were mulattoes. So those children were given education and they became interpreters for Europeans. He served as their teacher. He worked for the British for the whole of his life. Died October 17, 1816, age 75. So because he worked for the white people, that was why they honor him and bury him this year. So this is Philip Kweku, who later became Reverend Philip Park. In Cape Coast, there are schools named after him. But when he came, colonial time, he promoted Western education. So there are schools in town named after him. So to some of us, he was a traitor. But to the clergy, the Anglican society, he was a hero. So there are 2 sides of this person. All right. The African people. And from here, some of the captives were taken to North America, United States, places like Jamestown, Virginia, North and South Carolina, and almost all the original British states in America, about 13 states passed through here. Some of them went to England, Liverpool. Liverpool was the biggest slave harbor in the whole of Liverpool. Some of them went to Bristol, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, including Jamaica and this place. But those who were taken to Brazil, they passed through Castle, through that in the Portuguese. Because Brazil was a Portuguese colony. some Brazilians take Angola, East Africa. Talk about Suriname, Haiti, Dutch, Guyana, Curaçao, that is also passed through Dominicans to Dutch. But those who are taken to the French Caribbean, they passed through Gorée Island, Senegal. The French used Gorée Island for their slave trade. And do you know that Brazil received the largest number of slaves from Africa? You know that? Yeah. Brazil got 47% entire slaves from Africa. And Brazil is the second largest black population in the whole world, outside Nigeria. Let's go through the top 10. Now, time to take some quick pictures. Now, we'll just talk about the year of return, then we return and we end the lesson. One individual at a time. So in the group, they will be here to force them to one after the other. Then to the boats, then to the bigger ships. But the door was made bigger like this, brother. This was a British. They used this one from Africans were forced to do the small door. And we have the door of return. The door of return is symbolic. It came only in 1998. It was not, it came 1998. There was a ceremony in Ghana called Emancipation 98. During that time, skeletons of two enslaved Africans called Samuel Carson from New York and Madame Krista from Jamaica. They exhumed the two skeletons. From there to Accra to where we are now. They were in two caskets. The door was open. They were taken through to where I showed those graves for a short African funeral ceremony. From there, they carried the two skeletons to a nearby town called Asimans. Have you been to Asimans?
Yeah.
For reburial, where we have the slave river.
Yes.
So because two skeletons came, a male and a female skeleton, that with us on our soil, buried, that is why we have renamed the door. It means out of the millions taken away by Europeans, we got to 98. Now they're telling them that at least once in our lifetime, especially Africans like you, if you come to Ghana, for that matter, Cape Coast Castle, and you go through the door of 10. That is exactly what you have done today, 2 years after the year.
Yeah.
So I am so proud of you. And I love you. Okay. Let's move here and talk about this plaque. And this cell we see right now was constructed for some of the female captives that British wanted to rape and the women refused. Because of malaria, whites never brought their wives to Africa. Malaria killed them those days to the extent that they named the coast of West Africa the white man's grave. So only men like us came. But British who were here could not stay alone for a longer time without women, so they raped the African captives. But sometimes, if they wanted to do that, some women would fight with them. Those who refused to rape, they brought them. They had a dog. They would stay here for a week for punishment. They were doing that for other women to see, so that tomorrow when they get closer to you, we didn't fight again. There was a hole that was their toilet, give it to them. They passed food and water through this place once in a day, sometimes twice. This place will serve as a ventilation as a window. before we go to Dove No Return finally, let me just say something briefly about how the blacks were captured. Do you still recall what the guy said at the beginning? You still remember?
He said 4 ways. They would trick them, like entertainment on the boat, and then they would arrest them. They would raid the communities. Trade. They would trade, say they were going to trade, and then...
Yes, thank you. These are all facts, but let me add just one that you mentioned, but I didn't elaborate further. The last one, these are all measures or ways they got the people. But one of the ways that they brought majority was ethnic conflicts. Ethnic conflict. Intertribal groups. You know, in Africa we have tribes and ethnic groups, so many of them. That's why we have so many local languages.
Yeah.
For that matter, before Europeans came to Africa in 1471, there was nothing like Ghana or Togo or Burkina Faso. We had these tribes and kingdoms. For that matter, the Africans would govern themselves. One tribe would see themselves as one people. So they never see the other people as part of them. Sometimes they fight over boundary just to expand their territory. Sometimes Africans fight over land they perceive to be rich or gold or diamond. But when the white men came, our ancestors would then go to wars with weapons like bows and arrows, which were manufactured in Africa. And they go to war with these locally manufactured weapons. After a long fight, one tribe would lose the war. Losers would be taken as domestic slaves. Those people, to a large extent, they had some amount of freedom. They could marry, raise great children. They could acquire property. Later, they were integrated into the family system. Those people were not kept in building lives. They were also not taken to Europe and America permanently. They were free people in society. And I believe that system of slavery has been with humans since time immemorial. Let me give an example. In Ghana, I know for sure that not long ago, if you own somebody who hasn't got that money to pay, you can allow your son, your daughter, sometimes your wife, to go and work for the one you are owing for a number of years. You agree upon just to pay the debts. The period of which we are called a slave. But working like that, you are a woman and you are beautiful, with a good character. Somebody from the master's family should get married to you. Automatically, you free yourself from the slave to be part of the family. But there's no way I can enslave my wife. Before the white men came, there was a system whereby if you're working as a slave, you're a guy, you're hardworking and loyal to your master. The master can entrust his property into your hand. So in case the master is dead, he rise to be the head of the family. Especially situations where the master doesn't have a male child. So before the Europeans came, we had this system in place. And when they came, the situation changed. Immediately, they capitalized on the African system. So they introduced guns to replace the bows and arrows that our ancestors were using. You know the power of the gun. They added the whiskey, sardines, sugar, those things. This was given to the Africans. And Africans thought it was free, but it was never free. White man has no free lunch. They would tell them that they needed guns to protect themselves, fight the other tribes again, take everything. So the guns get to the chiefs. They organize their people, use their weapons to go and fight with other people again. Whenever they fight, the losers, instead of them to become domestic slaves in their homes, as they were doing before, those people were giving out to the Europeans in exchange of guns, whiskey, mirror, other things. So divide and rule, divide and conquer. So the more they go to the war, the more they captured prisoners of war in exchange for European goods. This was the system then. Look at what is happening globally. What do you think has changed? Has something changed really?
No.
Thank you. These and this were designed for female captives. So let's make our one.
Same thing as the floor?
Yes, the same floor. So women were basically 300, 150 years, the same thing. And you have been wondering why they take women as captives. Because they needed them to go and work for them. They needed more people. So women were taken to go and give birth, to go and breed. So 300 women, when they got to the Americas, they multiplied in their millions. They used them to expand the farms. They didn't pay anything. And In this dungeon, they treated them like a man. They go to toilets here, they urinate. At the end of every month, women pass their menstruations in addition. They did not allow them to clean their teeth. They did not bath. No sanitary pad for agreement. All this humiliation, white men still rape South African women. So anytime you wanted to do that, the rooms at the top, they live upstairs. You come in the rooms, open this, that, look through, and you select the ones to the bedroom. To go and rape. Those who said no to rape were punished. That's it. Some of them got pregnant at the time. So when we were ready to go, women who got pregnant were freed. They were not taken away. They built houses for them around Cape Coast Town. They put them there, gave them food, clothing, everything. When they get away, sometimes they free the man, the child. They take care of the man and the baby up to about 10 weeks or more. They will take the light skin from the man, bring them back again to stay. And they gave birth to mulattoes, and they gave names to them. That is how come in Ghana, along the coast, where Europeans settled, we have lighting, and most of the Ghanaians having European last names like Van Dyke, Zanderpool, Navika, Mattels, Da Costa, De Souza, Johnson, Gobson, Ferguson, Bobson, Loss, Ferguson, McLean, Brown, Taylor, McCarthy, Hughes, Rufus, Harrison, Jackson, Brown, all the citizens. These are names for the white people. Before they came, they never had these names. They were typical African names, which they couldn't pronounce, and they corrupted most of our characters. Let's move on. Symbolically, this was unveiled to welcome the former U.S. President. What I can testify is that since Obama came, visitation has gone up. Like number of people who visit us, the number has increased. Before Obama came, Elmina was recording the highest number the year. It's from 2019. So that is an impact. I can see. So before we exit, before Obama came, Elmina was getting more people. But from then, we are here at now. So that is what many people want to see where Obama visited. Many people visit. So any question again? If no questions, then we went through demolition using free and cheap African labor. We kept some 1,300 Africans. Men were here, men were there. We stayed 2 weeks minimum. It was 3 months maximum. 1860 slavery. So this structure was used as a colonial administrative center. This is the youngest castle among the 3 castles in the country. It has now been designated as a UNESCO heritage site. That was done in 1979. I was told the castle this afternoon, brothers and sisters, it ought to be in everlasting memory, the sufferings of our ancestors. We pray that those who died here should rest in perfect peace. And those who love to return should find their roots and be never again. It's never again. My name is Mark Tete, and as a